The Norwegian parliamentary election of September 2025 was a huge political event, the most dramatic contest since World War II. The campaign became a fight for Norway's identity, putting the well-known Labour Party against a fast-growing right-wing group led by the Progress Party. The results completely changed the political map, showing deep disagreements and a big shift on the right side of politics. Almost half the voters wanted change, while the other half wanted things to stay the same, leaving the country divided and the government's future unclear. This election set the stage for tough talks and instability in a country now arguing with itself. Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Store's Labour Party emerged victorious in the election, but with just 28% of the votes, securing only 53 seats in parliament. This was a clear win, but it was far from a landslide, and it left the party in a delicate position. That's much less than what's needed for a majority in Norway's 169-member parliament, where 85 seats are required to govern alone. Labour's result meant they would have to rely heavily on alliances. Labour's fragile partnership with smaller left-leaning parties barely scraped together 87 seats, just 2 more than the minimum needed to run the country. This slim margin leaves the coalition constantly on edge. With such a narrow majority, any party leaving the alliance could topple the government. Every vote in parliament becomes a tense negotiation, and every decision is a potential turning point for the coalition's survival. Meanwhile, the Progress Party surged to 48 seats, making it the main opposition force. The Conservatives, who once dominated Norwegian politics, fell to third place, a dramatic shift that marks a new era in the country's political landscape. The new parliament is more divided than ever before, with a strong and vocal opposition ready to challenge the government at every step. The atmosphere is charged and compromise will be essential. For Store, governing now means constantly seeking common ground, balancing the demands of a diverse group of parties, and navigating a landscape where every alliance is fragile. In this divided Storting, every new law will be a battle, and the future of the government will depend on its ability to negotiate, adapt, and hold its coalition together. In the middle stands Jonas Gahr Store, an experienced leader who got through problems and money troubles to win a second term. His government became more trusted when Jens Stoltenberg, former NATO leader, came back as finance minister, a move that made both voters and markets feel better. On the right, Sylvi Listhag's Progress Party became more important than the Conservatives, showing public frustration and becoming the new voice of the opposition. Listhag's direct way of speaking and popular message connected with voters looking for change. The relationship between Store, Stoltenberg, and Listhag will shape Norwegian politics, with each showing a different idea for the country's future. Store must balance what his coalition partners want, Stoltenberg faces money checks, and Listhag will always challenge the government. Their competition will shape the next time the parliament is in session. The Progress Party's rise was the most important story of the election, transforming from a smaller, often overlooked group into the main right-wing opposition. Their rapid growth surprised many political observers and signaled a major shift in the country's political landscape, as voters looked for alternatives to the traditional parties. Their ideas, lower taxes, getting rid of the wealth tax, using money from the National Savings Fund, and stricter immigration rules, really connected with voters who felt ignored. Many Norwegians, especially those outside the big cities, felt that their concerns about jobs, taxes, and cultural change were not being heard by the mainstream parties. The party's strong opinions on oil, gas, and national identity appealed especially to areas that depend on fossil fuels and those worried about quick climate changes. For many in these regions, the Progress Party's promises to protect local industries and jobs felt like a lifeline in uncertain times. Listhag's direct way and promises of financial help caused a big increase in support among young male voters and those who were unhappy with the leaders. Her ability to speak plainly and address everyday frustrations made her especially popular with people who felt left behind by rapid social and economic changes. The Progress Party presented itself as the protector of old traditions against global changes and woke politics. By focusing on Norwegian values and heritage, they attracted voters who feared losing their identity in a fast-changing world. Their success has permanently changed Norway's political scene, making all parties deal with a new popular reality. Now, every major party must respond to the Progress Party's influence and the issues they have brought to the forefront. The right-wing revolution is now at the heart of Norwegian politics, reshaping debates and forcing a national conversation about the country's future direction. Stor's government relies on a weak group of left-leaning parties with very different ideas. The biggest problem is energy policy. Labour and the Centre Party support continuing oil and gas production, while the Greens and far left want to stop using fossil fuels quickly. Taxes are another area of disagreement, with radical allies pushing for higher taxes on the rich, while Labour worries about scaring away investments. Every budget and policy discussion becomes a very important negotiation, as the government's tiny majority gives smaller parties a lot of power. The group's internal disagreements make it naturally unstable and easy for the opposition to attack. Stor must constantly make deals to keep his group together. The government's survival depends on managing these deep disagreements. The campaign was about 4 big issues that caused disagreement: the National Savings Fund, the wealth tax, energy policy, and immigration. The Progress Party wanted to use more of the savings fund for spending within the country, while Labour and Conservatives warned about risking Norway's future. The wealth tax became a hot topic, with the right demanding it be removed and the left saying it was a tool for fairness. Energy policy split the country. Should they expand oil and gas for safety and jobs or stop using fossil fuels for climate promises? Discussions about immigration got more intense, with the Progress Party pushing for stricter controls and others wanting a more kind approach. These issues show deeper divisions in society, making it hard to agree. Governing in this divided environment is a very difficult challenge. Stor's government faces a country more divided than ever, with a very small majority in parliament and a fragile coalition that is constantly under pressure. The coalition partners often find themselves at odds, disagreeing on key policies and struggling to present a united front to the public. Every vote in parliament becomes a test of survival for the government, with the risk of defeat always looming. Smaller parties, aware of their influence, use their leverage on controversial issues like oil exploration, climate policy, and taxes, making negotiations even more complex. The Progress Party, now a strong and vocal opposition force, is quick to criticize the government's every move, and will seize any opportunity to highlight weaknesses or divisions within the ruling coalition. This constant pressure makes it extremely difficult for Stor's government to find a stable middle ground and pass meaningful reforms. The election's result is not just a local story. It reflects a wider trend of rising popular movements and political polarization across Europe. There is a growing gap between ordinary voters and the political leaders who represent them, fueling frustration and mistrust. Stor must address deep concerns about rising living costs, immigration, and questions of national identity that are shaping the public debate. To restore trust in the social democratic way of doing things, he needs to reconnect with citizens and show that their voices matter. If the government fails, it risks not only more gains for populist parties, but also even deeper divisions in Norwegian society. The government must urgently build bridges in a fractured parliament and find common ground where there is little, forging new alliances and compromises to move the country forward. The future of Norway's political model, and its reputation for stability, depends on the government's ability to navigate these turbulent times and deliver results for its people.